My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'll be speaking about an event in Carlyle, Virginia, near Washington, D.C., taking place on Friday and Saturday, June 28th and June 29th. The event is sponsored by the Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. It is a two-day event, and part of what they'll be talking about during these 2 days are legislative attempts to help reform laws throughout the states and in the United States of America to help better the lives of our children in the future. Now, the people that are sponsoring this event have one goal. They are Americans for Equal Shared Parenting. They want a presumption of 50-50 shared parenting. And under our current no-fault divorce laws, where of course no parent is at fault for anything, that is a very logical approach to take. If nobody's at fault, why should one parent be deprived of being with their child, and why should one parent have to pay for a child that he or she often cannot see? So this is a very good approach. Personally, I am for 100 shared parenting. I have told many people that 100 shared parenting is in the best interest of the children. A child being raised in an intact family with his or her natural mother and father, and also with the child being surrounded by a very strong extended family, which includes grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews, and other such things. Unfortunately, what happens in divorce and what happens when there is a child that is brought into this world that is not brought into an intact family, often an entire side of that child's family and his or her identity and heritage gets erased. It's as if it does not even exist. Unfortunately, in our states today, too often, way too often, our laws are written that favor this type of arrangement. Not only that, our federal laws are written in such a way that states that implement this type of arrangement actually get rewarded financially. So the destruction of the family, the destruction of our children's futures, is subsidized by the federal government. And the state government, trust me, the state government wants this money coming in, so it will implement procedures and it will implement laws and regulations that are basically designed to wipe out half of a child's parentage or extended family. This is a crying shame. It should not happen. And the same people that do this talk about the best interest of the child. Let me be clear. The best interest of the child is to be raised in an intact family. That includes a marital unit with his or her natural mother and father, period, and being surrounded by strong extended family. That is the best interest of the child. When we have situations of divorce or situations of single parents, we are not dealing with the best interest of the child to begin with. What we are looking for at that point is what can be better to approximate the best interest of the child. And that's what this group of people will be there to talk about. How do we create legislation? How do we create an awareness among the public of the disaster that's taking place in our states, of what's going on at the federal government level, and what's actually destroying our children? I know many of the people that will be speaking. I've met them personally. Ones that I have not met, I am looking forward to meeting. Dr. Warren Farrell, I'm looking forward to meeting you. Representative Andy Biggs. Bob McEwen, I'm looking forward to meeting you as well, and Ed Martin, who is the Catholic advisor to the President of the United States. I'm looking forward to meeting with all of these people. One thing that I really like about these conferences, I was at the first one last year, I will be again at this one this upcoming year, is the opportunity to network with people, to see what they're doing throughout the country. Now, each state has a different strategy to some degree. Each person has a different way of approaching things. I think that when we get together and we share these different ideas together, that we all as a movement become stronger and more unified. I talk about things that many people don't talk about. I talk about the issue of repealing forced, unilateral, no-fault divorce. States that make it way too easy for people to get divorced. When divorce takes place, it often destroys a child, devastates a child, and states like, well, it's no big deal. And sometimes, unfortunately, even people that are involved in the shared parenting movement adopt that type of an attitude. So I talk with them. I talk with people who say, well, but I'm a single mother and a single father. We had a child out of wedlock. I'll tell you right off the bat. Number one, have a child together in marriage. Marriage is not just for adults, as many people think. Marriage is for children. Divorce is for adults or an adult. It is not in the best interest of the children. Be married. Have a stable relationship before bringing children into the world. That's what you should be having. Now again, I understand that there are many, many children in situations that should not be in the situations that they're in. How do we help to make the future better for them? And that's what many of these people will be speaking about. There are at least, I believe, 12 people that are speaking, people that I admire and respect. And let me say one thing. So as people know, I despise family law attorneys who tell you what is in the best interest of the children as they profit off of the destruction of your family. There's going to be one family law attorney there, Melissa Isaak, and I always tell her, Melissa, when I talk about family law attorneys, please understand, you are the exception. You are not included in my scathing remarks regarding the family law or the anti-family law industry. Melissa will be there. She's outstanding. If every family law attorney were like Melissa, our whole country would change. Dr. Torri J. Evans-Barton, she's been outstanding as far as helping to reconcile, to reunite children with their fathers. And let me address something right off the bat. For you mothers out there who are going through the same thing, this is not to deprecate you mothers. I can't stand it when somebody says, well, we need to talk about mothers. We do need to talk about mothers. We need to talk about both parents. And this idea of having both parents involved in a child's life is very important. The reality is right now, a lot of the research has been done on fatherlessness because in many instances, fathers have been the ones excluded from their children's lives. Same devastation takes place when mothers are excluded from the children's lives. We just don't have the studies and the data yet behind that. So mothers, get involved with this. Shared parenting means the father is not better, nor is the mother better. The child needs both parents. Dr. Warren Farrell, he's talked about issues such as the boy crisis and what's going on in America and how our boys are being devastated by policies that are taking place in America, often by selfish people, often by well-to-do, good-meaning sort of people, and they're destroying our children. They are destroying our sons and our grandsons. They are destroying our nephews. They are destroying the boys of this upcoming generation. If you are a person who says, well, this is all well and good, this idea of shared parenting and this conference is getting together, but it's not going to affect us, trust me, it is going to affect you, if not directly, indirectly. If you have children, your child may end up marrying a child of divorce, and that will lead to very many challenges going forward in your child's life. It may have, in the future, it may have repercussions upon you and your ability to see your grandchildren, if there are such. Representative Andy Biggs out of Arizona, I so look forward to meeting him. He's been a stalwart, a great advocate for the family and for outstanding values. Ed Martin, the Catholic advisor to the President of the United States. I've never met Ed Martin. I really don't know a whole lot about him, but I know that a person like that has got to have a great influence with the president and is going to bring a very special perspective to the conference that will probably come from a faith-based sort of approach. And I appreciate that because we who are faith-based people look at families as having their origin in God himself. God ordained family. God created family, the institution of family, before he created the institution of government. Government should not be destroying families. Government should be supporting families. Strong families are important to have a strong country. Another representative, Tom Pischke, I've met him in the past, a man who was affected by this whole family law or anti-family law disaster, and he ran for Congress and is making changes there. Jeremy Roberts, a policy wonk, according to Mark Ludwig, who I know quite well, this guy is a genius, and I look forward to meeting Jeremy again and to hearing what he has to say. There are many other people that will be there as well, including a former gubernatorial candidate, people that work in counseling. So again, I am going to ask you to make this a priority. It may not be exactly, the people here may not represent you 100%, so what? So what? If we are together 85% of the time and we are fighting against an external enemy, join forces together. There are people that don't agree with me. I don't agree with them. But if we can agree on the fundamentals, I will do anything I can to work with them, to network with them, because the enemy is external to us. The enemy, in too many instances, is our state. The enemy, in too many instances, is our federal government. The enemy, of course, is always the anti-family law attorneys and the anti-family laws that we see in our states. And then we have the anti-family attorneys who talk about the best interest of the child while they are destroying the best interest of the child. The blatant hypocrites. We need to unite together against all of these people. So the goals of this conference are to give people hope, to say, hey, we know that we are fighting an uphill battle. We know that there are Goliaths out there. We know that there are people whose financial interests are at stake, and they're going to fight us tooth and nail. Some of these divorce attorneys that says, we make money by destroying your families. We don't want to see good happen to your families because you're going to cut off our income stream. We need to unite against them. We have people that have ins with top legislators or people in very high places. I want to hear from them. I want to know how I can support their efforts. And I hope that maybe they will support some of my efforts. Different methods that we can continue to employ to make progress. And again, the big thing is the network connections. You get to meet some outstanding people. I've met people that have been beaten by the system, beaten down, but not yet broken. Beaten down, but still standing strong. Beaten down, and yet nevertheless are rising up as people of outstanding character. I am motivated by these people for myself. People that have gone through much more than I have even imagined I could go through, and yet they're still standing and they're still fighting. The common enemy, of course, once again, I will say this again, is the Family Bar Association. They will always talk about how they are acting in the best interest of the children. They're creating laws supposedly for the best interest of the families. They are lying to you. They are lying to you. They are creating laws to increase their income streams. That is it. We have in Texas, the Texas Anti-Family Law Foundation, who have actually proclaimed before a committee, and I have it on video, that we really like our role as a lobbying group for the Texas State Family Bar Department. So the event is not going to just consider legislative reforms. It's also going to look at some of the other issues, like the mental health issues. There will be some counselors there. There will be discussion panels. Ginger Gentile, the director of Erasing Family, will show part of her movie that is coming out in September, talking about the devastation that takes place when part of a child's family is erased from his or her life. So anyway, if you can, put this event on your calendar. Again, I'm going there. I'm not directly affected by all of this stuff, but I want to be there. And I want to know that when these laws get changed, when this unconscionable system that is destroying our families gets changed, that at least I've had a part. Whether it be up front or behind the scenes, I want to be there supporting those people who are fighting for our families, fighting for our children, fighting for our grandchildren, fighting to keep our country strong, fighting to see our children and our grandchildren be raised in a healthy manner. I hope to see you there. Thank you.